My name is Harsh Singh Parihar, and today I am going to interact with the principal of Vision Vedanta Public School, Mrs. Priyambada Sharma. So, welcome ma'am, and it's great to be here with you.
Thank you, Harsh. I am very honored to be part of this discussion. I hope we will come up with some concrete discussion.
Absolutely, ma'am. So, my first question is that tell me something about this school and its vision.
Vision Vedanta Public School was established in 2017 under the aegis of New Vision School Society, which in itself has another school associated with it, New Vision Inter College, and we started in the year 1975. So we have been in the field of education for almost 42 plus years now, and Vision Vedanta is the sister concern and was established with the pure aim of providing education to the rural children of this area, keeping in mind the importance of education and talking about our vision statement. So I would like to quote the statement. It is to achieve the goal of a radical and improved society by nurturing the budding talent of our students through knowledge, commitment and hard work. And the statement itself talks a lot about what our vision is.
So ma'am, it is generally said that each school has its own way of working. So I want to know from you that what is so unique about this school which makes it different from the other schools which are present in this area?
So to that, every person is unique, every individual is unique, right? We all say that the new philosophy of education points out towards how each child is unique and how we should inculcate each individual child as per their own capability and their individuality, right? So similarly, Vision Vedanta Public School is unique in a way where we try and cater to our students in the most unbiased forms. There is no interested student who would come to my school and on any basis I would not reject an admission of that student, because I truly believe that if there is an intention to learn, that intention should be met, and that is my purpose of sitting here. So that is the most important USP. The second most unique factor that I feel is that in this current today's times we talk a lot about organic, right? Being organic. So my school, I feel, is bringing forth the concept of being organic in a way where I provide the students with this very natural environment, right? A campus where the students can benefit from nature, learn from the nature, and inculcate that in their everyday learning.
Yes, I can see that. It's very, like green and all that. So my next question is now, as we all know that this school caters to rural education and is trying to develop English speaking and creative skill, in the students who come from this rural background. So how challenging was it for you and all the staff members who are working here? Please shed some light on this also.
Right. So I would, disagree. It has been challenging for sure. And the biggest challenge I think that we face is that the kind of students we cater to, the kind of atmosphere that they come from, the kind of environment they come from, it creates a huge gap between their school learning, where they tend to spend around 6 to 6.5 hours in out of the 24 hours in a day. So when they go back, so whatever they learn here, they do learn, definitely. There's a lot of hard work from the parents and also and from the students and also. I'm not totally denying that. But that gap is very difficult to meet, both for the student, for the parent and even for the school. So it becomes a very,
difficult.
It's not a difficult process, but it becomes a lengthy process because it takes more time than in comparison it would take for a city child to incorporate it in his daily life, the learnings from the school, it becomes a little difficult for these rural children. So, but yes, we have learned it and we have figured it out, and we have different methodologies that we are trying to incorporate, because any challenge that you have to meet that challenge. Without that, the purpose isn't solved. So we are working towards it, and it's become easier as we.
After all, we all are teachers. And
that's the to find a way.
This is our responsibility.
Is the whole idea, the whole agenda.
Okay. As we all know, we have been going through really, difficult circumstances in our daily life due to this COVID pandemic. So, I want to know from you, how has this pandemic changed us, and how has this pandemic changed our whole education system? That's what I want to know from you.
So this would be probably a little lengthy answer. It's been 2 years that I have been monitoring this entire pandemic and how it has affected my school particularly, and also an overall education system of India, if I can say that. As a mother, as a parent, also I have experienced the pandemic. As a principal of a school, also I have faced the pandemic. So how I see it affecting the education system is that this pandemic, the online classes specifically, we can divide the entire Indian society into 3 different sects. Right? The first sect being of the students, a group of students who have access to a very good internet connection, they have access to technology, they have access to laptops, and plus they have their parents and they have their school to guide them. Right? They are available to guide them, they are able to guide them. So that is the first group of students. The second group of students is that are upper middle class students, where they have access to a decent internet, they have access to a mobile phone, which is probably most likely shared in the family, and they have parents who are able to guide them, but then they are not available to guide them because of their work and their different family scenarios. And so these students are the upper middle class students. And then we have the final group of students are rural children who were very, very majorly affected because they do not have access to technology, internet, and plus they do not have a lot of guidance that can come from their parents or even from the schools because of the huge distance that we could incur. So I feel that in this race, this scenario is going to come up again. It is not over yet. When we talk about education system, this is going to catch up to especially these students if they are not able to bridge this gap of 2 years. It is most important for these rural children to bridge up that gap. And I feel that the upper middle class students, they were the ones who really benefited from this online sessions because they were the self-learners. Those are the group of students who dedicatedly, they committed to studies, and they, even with one mobile phone, they sat down and they wrote their notes and they made their, they did their exams. So they were the self-learners, and they are going to be the first in the race. Second are the students who are, who have everything presented to them on a platter. Available for them. And finally, lastly, are
rural students.
Right.
Absolutely, I agree with you.
Right.
So, ma'am, what is your take on the new education policy of our country, and how is this going to affect us?
New education policy is definitely a very positive move, and I am very proud that finally there is a government who has been able to at least have a policy in place. Right now, how well are we able to incorporate that, get it into effect in our system is yet to be seen. But the few of the top of my head, the points that I feel are very, very effective in the new education policy is the first one being a uniform curriculum, not just for a state but for the entire country. There are no boards and there is no distinction, basis the how much you can spend on education, right? Everybody at every level will get the same education, which is wonderful, which is actually the need of the hour, right? Because education is our basic human right for any person, and it should be unified across the country. So that is one very wonderful point. Bringing in technology, bringing in computer studies, bringing in practical knowledge, bringing in learning by doing, that is again, we have to get out of that old school system of teaching on the blackboard and just reciting and learning and rote learning. So that is another thing that has been really taken care in the policy. And finally, I feel, like I said, in making it effective in the system, because of our huge population, because of the endless number of schools and the government schools and the private sector, so incorporating everybody together, that is going to be a challenge, and that is yet to be seen. So I am really looking forward. I really want to work as per this new policy. So I am quite glad that we have something like this in place now.
Okay, all right. So the last question. At last, what message would you like to give to our audience and people who are watching us?
For our audience, I would like to say that times are changing, and they are changing very fast, right? And as a nation, it is each and everyone's individual responsibility to make sure that we match up with this pace, and we work with our younger generation to make sure that they are if not ahead of times, with the times, right?
Yeah.
And the only tool which I feel can help them achieve that, can help our upcoming generations live a prosperous, happy and joyful life, is the tool of education, right? Without education, nothing can be achieved. If your education suffers, the entire nation suffers, right? And I am a true believer of I would like to quote the saying that pen is mightier than the sword, and this holds true even in today's times, right? And that is my only message. Every parent, every teacher, every educator, all the leaders, we have to understand how important and this should be kept, education must be kept as the top priority, and we should work all together to achieve certain goals.
Okay, thank you so much for your words, ma'am. With this we will end our today's session. It was really great to be here with you, and thank you so much for joining us. At last, I want to add this only, that we would consider ourselves really, fortunate if even a single person can, learn something through this session.
Absolutely, I truly agree with you, Harsh, and it was a wonderful session. I was very glad to have spoken about these issues. These are issues which
are very crucial,
and people must benefit from our discussion.
Yeah, absolutely, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.